Yo, what is up guys? My name is Clanworld, and today I will be doing another Clash Royale video. So in this video, I have recently unlocked the miner in a free chest, and I'm going to be using it in a few battles for the first time ever. So here is the miner, and I'm going to try making a few decks with it. I have never used it, and I don't really know how you're supposed to use it in a battle or anything. But I'm going to make a deck with it, and I just replaced the Musketeer with the Miner in a deck I already had. So I'm going to try this deck out, and comment down below how you use the Miner, and maybe I can use your strategy in the next episode. So I'm going to get into my first battle, and it is against Sweet Vest. So I'm going to start by getting 10 elixir. And I'll play my hog in the back, and then I'm gonna put the miner down and then minions and zap away those skeletons. But he just plays barbarians, and that will completely shut down my push. So my push got shut down, and now he has a giant deck, and that is going to be a little hard for me to counter. But that one skeleton that is left will do some damage after I take it down. So the problem with these cheap decks is I didn't really have enough time to have a good defense. So his poison spell is just going to kill all my units, and therefore I gave up almost all my tower to him. So now I'm going to try to save up on elixir, and I'm going to play Mini P.E.K.K.A in the back, and then I'm going to play some minions to take care of his princess, and then a miner, but his witch once again, and I zap it, and this, for the first time, I actually will get a good push off, and I think that's how most people use the miner. At least that's how I'm going to be using it. And that's the effective way. And if you can keep on doing that for 1 or 2 times and get 2 towers, and then the rest of this deck you can defend with, sort of, and that will be a pretty nice win, which will probably be 2-1 or something. So I'm going to fireball his barbarians out of there that he used to counter my hog. And then I'm just going to save up elixir. So he plays a princess, and I'm just going to counter that again with minions. So that princess will take my tower with those few hits, but he's going to zap my minions, which were already dying, so I don't really understand that move. Now I'm going to try to build up a bigger push, keeping in mind that he has that poison, but then he's just able to stop that with a giant. So my push just basically got destroyed by a giant and a few minions. And I'm going to use my miner to take out his princess. And then it's going to turn around onto his barbarians that he just placed. And then I'm going to place fire spirits far away. But I should have put them to the side so they could have damaged more barbarians than they did. That was poorly played by me. Now I'm going to place a fireball on 2 towers and a witch, so it gave great value. And then I placed a hog rider, but he placed a minion horde, and my Mini P.E.K.K.A will get 3 hits on his giant before it dies, but he has a balloon, giant balloon, and I don't have anything that can counter that because of his princess, and it does not look good for me right now because I don't have anything that can counter his balloon. So I'm just trying to get chip damage at this point, hoping that I might be able to defend. But that fireball, that was the worst fireball. I tried hitting his witch, but it didn't work. And then those minions, and horribly played by me, and that's going to be the game. So with this miner deck, it is very hard to win against those high elixir cost decks, giant decks, because you don't have too much that can take down the giant. I'm going to change my deck a little, and thinking what I should put in, I think the Ice Spirit might be a good combo with the Mini P.E.K.K.A, so I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm thinking what else might fit in there. And I'm going to add the Musketeer instead of the Hog. And then Minion Horde I've also seen very well used. And I'm going to take that out instead of the Fireball. And then I'm just going to go into another battle, hoping that maybe this deck will be a better deck for me to use. So I lose connection here. And I don't really know what happened. Like, everything just, like, stopped working. And the whole game stopped working. And he left the match, so now I'm really curious, because I can't do anything. He left the match. So I'm just gonna swipe out, and let's restart the game. And here's where I realized, like, what just happened. The whole match just got deleted. So I'm really confused, like, what just happened, because I've never seen that happen. Like, I'm wondering if, like, my game froze, and, like, it didn't save my decks, which is why I went and checked that. But, like, no clue what just happened there. Like, the whole game just shut down. It was really weird. So have you ever realized that in the Minion Horde, the arms seem like more red, but in like the 3 Elixir minions, his arms seem more purplish? I like just realized that because I just saw them together. And have you ever realized that? But once again, Wi-Fi, it's just annoying me like every game, and I can't get anything off. I don't know why it's happening. I tried to fix it. It seemed fixed for a little, and then I start recording again, and it just like, bam, doesn't work. So I'm going to play Mini P.E.K.K.A. Fire Spirits as a small push, but the Witch Splash damage will take care of the Fire Spirits, and another empty push. So I'm going to place a Minion Horde on top of his Witch, didn't thinking it would take that much damage, but I was going to place that Miner to distract the towers from the Minion Horde, but he arrowed it down. And on the other side, I realize now that that Goblin Hut did so much chip damage that I need to start finding out a way to deal with that, because that is 700 damage on my tower that could have been avoided. So he plays a Mini P.E.K.K.A. to counter my push with the Musketeer, and my Musketeer will only get 2 hits on the tower, and going into the rest of this battle, he has had a huge advantage. So once again, the Wi-Fi just decides to pop up, and this time it just goes away instantly, so that was nice. So I did Minion Horde Miner, forgetting about his arrows in rotation, and another worthless push by me, shut down by his defense. But my Miner did end up getting a lot of good chip damage, so once again, I'm doing this Musketeer push with the Fire Spirit, but it doesn't work, because my Wi-Fi, it just like sucks, and I can't do anything. And like now all my cards go down at once, but that was too late, and I already took a lot amount of damage on my tower. So that was bad Musketeer placement. I should have placed it off to the side a little more, but he uses his arrows, so now I think it might be a good time to use the Minion Horde. So in the end, I never really had a good rotation. He was always just like pushing me, and now that he played his Miner, he's like, what was that Miner placement? Like, I was just like out of it at this point. Like, I needed something fast, and I didn't rotate fast enough to get back to my minions and have a time where I couldn't stop playing defense, because his Goblin Hut was just keeping on so much pressure that I ended up losing that one. So I'm going to change up my deck again, and thinking what I should put in this time, I really don't know how to use the Miner. So I think the Hog was a good idea, and it did work good, and I like the Zap in there. So I'm going to completely rework this deck, and hopefully it will work out this time. So I like the Mini P.E.K.K.A. in it, and I also like the Fireball. So this deck is 3.3, and I think that's the deck that I'm going to use. So I'm going to get into another battle. So this guy is Marcus, and he is in the clan Nova Era Royale. And I'm going to play a mini P.E.K.K.A and then minion horde, and generally this is a good push, but he had zap and arrows and a minion horde, and that completely shut down my push, but I did get an elixir advantage out of that. So now I'm just waiting up and trying to gain more elixir. And he's going to play a pump, and since I don't have a pump, if I don't find a way to take out that pump, he will have an elixir advantage going into the rest of the battle. So a lot of people are carrying Fireball around now, and that Fireball is just going to decimate my push instantly, but the Miner from the back doing so much chip damage that it will be able to do a lot of damage on the tower, bringing it down to 1606. So my tower will clean up his Barbarian, and then he will place a Giant in the back. And now is when I'm wondering what's going to come behind that Giant. A Witch, a Balloon, or maybe even some other troop that usually doesn't come behind a Giant. So he placed 3 Musketeers, and my Fireball is not in rotation, and my mini P.E.K.K.A is just going to get decimated after 1 hit. And I'm going to try to zap and then Fire Spirit, but the zap does not go out long, doesn't stun for a whole second anymore, and my tower will just get destroyed by his 3 Musketeers and Giant. So now I need to keep in mind that I need to not use my Fireball, but against these kinds of decks, it is very hard to remember that, and I forget again, and I need to take out his pump, and the second I realized I did that, I dropped a sad face because I knew that those 3 Musketeers could just come out again and haunt me. So now I tried doing a small push on the other side, because maybe he had to spend elixir there, and he wouldn't be able to spend as much elixir as he wanted on his push, which was the point in those. Whenever you're playing a Giant push, and you know he has a lot, I'm waiting for those 3 Musketeers, and I'm not going to place them there, my Fireball there, but I end up needing to save that tower. But now I know that his 3 Musketeers can just plop down right in the middle of my base, and my tower is all the way down to 1074, and I don't even have his first tower down with 18 seconds left. So at this point, I'm just desperate, dropping whatever I have onto his tower, and only the Miner is actually going to get there, and it will only bring it down to 1042. And with 5 seconds left, I realize that there is no way I'm catching back up into this battle. So that was another loss. Hopefully I can get a win for you guys in this episode, but maybe not, because I've never used the Miner yet. So let's try changing up our deck again, and seeing what we can do with it this time. So I'm thinking what can go in, and I think that I want the Musketeer to go against high damage air units, which would be nice. And I'm also going to put in the Goblins. And I'm wondering what to take out here, because everything is so necessary in this deck, and I'm just not going to put in the Spear Goblins, and I'm going to get into another match. But first, I'm still questioning this deck, and I will put in Spear Goblins instead of the normal Goblins, and then I will get into a match. So I am playing Tauntaun from Asia Dragon, and I'm going to save up on my elixir and play a mini P.E.K.K.A in the back, so then I can play my Miner in front of it. And he is a Witch, and already this might start seeming like the battle I did first. So once again, it's looking like it already did in the very beginning of this episode. So this is not going too well at this point. So he will play a Royal Giant in the back, and once again I'll do that push on the other side, but I committed way too much putting 8 elixir on the other side, and I will not have enough to counter what he has on my side, and that Royal Giant is basically just going to go to town on my tower. So finally I will have enough to place a mini P.E.K.K.A, and then I will place an Ice Spirit after that, but my tower already is down to 1664. So now a Fireball right now will have extremely good value, taking out 8 elixir, but the Witch will still be alive, and therefore when I place my Spear Goblins, they're not high enough, so they target the Miner instead of the Witch, and that Witch will start doing work along with the Miner tanking for it on my tower. So now the battle seems about even. If anything, he has a little advantage on my tower, but I think I might be able to come back for that. So he will play another Royal Giant in the back. And understand this time that I can't commit too much to the other side, but I know I want to commit a little. So I play Fire Spirits and a Miner, which isn't the best push ever, and I'm waiting for his minion horde, but it does not come yet, so I will just need to play Ice Spirits and then a mini P.E.K.K.A, and that was a way better way to deal with his troops. So that fireball was not a great fireball. I did not hit all his barbarians, and that is not really what you want to see. But that Miner will come in from, and then it will do a little damage, but not enough. And those Spear Goblins were on the side of the tower, so it wasn't that good because the splash damage could have maybe hit it. So now I will take out his tower, but I know that my tower is going to go down the second he places that fireball. So now he is in the lead by 800 damage on towers, and with 18 seconds left, we will need to have a good push before he can just place his Royal Giant again and capture his victory. So now that he has that first tower down, he can just play in the middle, and I probably won't have enough time to react to it. And there it goes. I place down the Miner and hoping the Princess will go into it, but it won't. And with all that on my tower, it seems like what would look to be a good battle in the beginning will not turn out that way, and it will end in a 2-1 loss. So I really don't know how to use the Miner. If any of you have any ideas on how to use the Miner, I will take any suggestions, but I'm just going to do a Miner Sparky deck. And maybe that will work, maybe it won't. I'm basically just building my old deck, my Giant Sparky deck, but putting the Miner in instead of the Archers. So I looked to see what it was, and I put the Pump in as the final card, and this will be the deck I will be using for the last battle of this episode. So we are into our battle against a level 10. So that won't be too much of a problem. He has a Pump, and I have a Pump. He plays his first, so I know that he will need to play the next card of the battle if he does not want to lose Elixir. So he will play an Ice Wizard up front, and then a Dark Prince. So the problem with this combo is I can't really play anything, and he knows that I will sell out on that, and he will be able to do massive amounts of damage on my other tower. So my other tower is already down to 1792, and that is a good strategy, putting a pretty big push on one side of the tower, and then being able to back that up with a very small push on the other side, but knowing that other small push can still do a lot of damage. Ice Spirit Goblin, if you have the Ice Spirit, is a very, very good damage dealer, because if you put the Ice Spirit in front, it will be able to do so much damage. The Goblins will, and it will end up the tower way farther down. So I'm going to play my Giant Sparky, and then I'll play my Miner in for some chip damage in the back. And right away, his first tower is going to fall. So I try to separate his Dark Prince from my Sparky, and it does work, and my Sparky is alive with the smallest sliver of health, but it will die in the end to his Valkyrie. So now my Giant Barbarians, which both die, and he arrows down basically nothing. And now I know that I have my minion horde, and I'm thinking if I should play that or I should pump up. So Giant Minion Horde is a very, very good strategy, because the Giant will take and he'll zap it, but as long as you don't zap the tower, the minions will just go to work on the tower, because everything is targeted on the Giant. Now I'm just going to zap the tower, place my Elixir Collector, and collect Elixir on his side. I know, and he knows, that the battle is over, and he will let me get that 3-0 victory. So that was a nice way to wrap up the episode. Apparently, my Giant Sparky deck still works with the Miner, and I will open up a silver chest, but that will do for this episode, guys. Peace out.